Order this week. There we go. Oh, now they're just speaking amongst themselves.
Yo.
I have no idea.
Yo, you have it
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grappling with the Gilmans. I'm Josh.
I'm here now.
And you?
Doing great.
Really? You've had a good day.
I'm gonna get my legs cut off. That's all I'm happy.
And we are back in the new SVW podcast studio to talk about the week in pro wrestling. We're not wasting any time because we have something very special for everybody this week. And to introduce it, I'm going to turn it over to Sam. Sam, go ahead.
We had an interview this week.
Yeah, talking to the microphone.
We had an interview this week with special guest standing at 12 feet of...
not 12
6
feet.
feet, 12 inches, and 15% of a metric ton. Larger than life, harder than hell. Big Trouble, Ben Bishop.
Yes. We pre-taped an interview, and by we, it actually wasn't we. It was Sam Madge. Pre-taped an interview with independent wrestling star Big Ben Bishop, and we are going to go to that right now.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're doing good.
Good.
We're really
Awesome.
sorry we're late. My dad.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. No need to apologize. You're all good.
You're starting. I'm here to bring you a man who stands at 6'12", 15% of a metric ton, hotter than life, larger than hell. Big Trouble, Ben Bishop.
You got it. You were close. You're very close. Good
Close?
job. Good job. You were
Okay.
close. Hotter than hell, larger than life, but close. You got it a little
Okay.
mixed up, but it's all right.
Okay,
I'll give you a slide. I'll let it slide.
You played basketball, right?
Yeah.
For the University of Vermont. You
I
were
did.
team captain from 2012 to 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And had a season high of 8 points against New Hampshire.
I did. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not the most impressive stats, but my basketball career was great, but I wouldn't say super individually it was great, but as a team it was great. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm actually wearing a Vermont shirt right now, so I love Vermont. I wouldn't trade it for anything. A good amount of injuries, but it was an amazing experience. Got to go to the NCAA tournament a few times. Played against Syracuse, North Carolina. So that was pretty cool. So again, I thought it was great. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. Speaking of injuries, what is more painful, Aussie rules football or professional wrestling?
So it's definitely different. Definitely different. So Aussie rules football, a lot of running. It's pretty hard on the joints. It's a lot of running back and forth, kind of like almost like what rugby is to football, Aussie rules football is to soccer. So there you have to use your feet a lot, which I was new to doing. But it was cool. I made a lot of good friends. And it was something to just keep me active. But I would say in wrestling, you fall down a lot. So you have that danger. So it's a little different. I'd say Aussie was a little more taxing on the body, but wrestling is a little more dangerous. So that's how we'll say it.
So I heard the story. You were at an indie show, and you were approached by Gilbert or James Ellsworth, and they said,
Mhm.
"Hey, you want to wrestle?" And you were like, "Sure."
Yeah, that was really it. That's how I got started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was at James Ellsworth's independent wrestling show, Adrenaline Championship Wrestling in Maryland. I went there because I heard Enzo Amore, now known as Real One, on the radio on Busted Open Radio, and that he was going to be in Maryland, and I was living in Maryland at the time, and I decided that it was going to decided that hey, I wasn't doing anything that Friday night. Went to the show, and then I was approached by Gilbert at intermission, and then he brought me over to Ellsworth, and the next day I was training. It's just were like, wow, you're a big guy. You want to try this? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And that was about 6 years ago, so the rest is history.
Yeah. What was the experience like training with
Yeah,
in James Ellsworth?
Training with Ellsworth was really great because you got to understand, he's a guy that, you look at him and he wasn't a guy that was supposed to make it. He's not the biggest guy. He's not, the most athletic guy, but he's very smart. He knows what he's doing. He really understands wrestling. He was trained by Axel Rotten from ECW fame, and Axel is known as one of the smartest guys in wrestling. So Ellsworth was able to impart that knowledge on me as well. I got to go to a lot of the shows with him, be in the car, learn a lot of the the ins and outs of wrestling, what to do, what not to do. And it's really helped me a lot and really accelerated my growth in professional wrestling.
Okay. Before this, you had a job which was internal recruitment for a data intelligence company.
Yeah.
For the
So
people who
I still have a job. Yeah. So I still work a 9 to 5. So I'm doing both. It's like my Clark Kent to Superman, right? So I have my day job, which I do, which I just signed off about an hour ago. But I also wrestle. So I'm still doing talent acquisition for a consulting company.
for the people at home who don't understand this, because I definitely don't understand, what is data intelligence for a company?
I don't think that's something it's not too fun to talk about, to be honest, but it's a lot to do with cloud consulting. It's has to do with the cloud. I don't know if you know what the cloud is, but the cloud, like
Yeah.
Google Cloud Platform, AWS, all that stuff. It's not fun.
Wow.
Wrestling's more fun to talk about.
Okay. You made some appearances for AEW.
Yeah.
You wrestled Roderick Strong 10, and during that Strong match, during the beginning, the camera zoomed in on you, and you had like the cheesiest grin and like the funniest pose.
Yeah, because you know why? You think about it, and you know how those matches go. I know it was going to be quick. And I'm not assigned talent to AEW, so I thought, why not make the most of it? Maximize the minutes, and I knew that camera was going to be on me at that moment, so I wanted to just show some personality. That's what I got. I got height, but I got to show personality too. And it just took off a little bit. So it got a lot of people just off that cheesy grin and pose. I thought about it like 10 minutes before. I've never done it before. And it worked, I guess. Just I'm fortunate.
What is your relationship with AEW currently?
There's none. There's none. I wish them the best. I haven't heard back from them since then, so it's all good. I'm doing my own thing right now and enjoying working on the indies and having a lot of fun. So they haven't called me back, and that's totally fine. They're a great company and they have their way of doing things, and they have their journey that they're on. I have my own, so it's all good. Maybe one day we'll see, but as of now, nothing.
Uh, you have been on the indies a lot. You've wrestled the real one. You've wrestled
Mhm.
Nick Nemeth. You've teamed with Microman.
Yeah.
What was your favorite opponent?
Yeah, I think I've had a few. I would have to say, it's like a 1A, 1B, and you can put them both either or. But Nick Nemeth was one of my favorite matches that I've had. Just such a cool experience, a guy that I grew up watching, and I was so fortunate to be able to be in the ring with him. And even when he was walking in the ring for our match, I was kind of having a little bit of a mark out moment because it was internally, I was keeping it professional, but internally it was just like, wow, this I can't believe I'm here. Like, this is just a really cool thing. But also Matt Riddle as well. So I worked Matt Riddle last year. I worked him a few weeks ago as well, in a match, and always enjoyable. He works hard. I think he's a guy on the indies who really takes his craft very, very seriously and is willing to go out there and put on a great match. And he's a consummate professional. So I would have to say those two are at the top.
Oh, we actually have a question from my younger brother, Matt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am 4'4", and according to my friends,
4'4"?
I'm 2'4". Do you have any tips on how to get taller?
How to get taller? Oh boy. Well, so they got to stretch you out. So you got to go on. You got to maybe your dad and your brother can just hold a rope and just stretch you a little bit. I don't know. My genetics, I got very lucky. My dad is tall. My dad's 6'4". Tall for most people, not for me. But he is, and I have a very tall family. But I am the tallest by about 6 inches. I have a cousin who's about 6'6", so I definitely have. I was very lucky to get some of like the best genes in my family.
You use social media a lot. making fun of
I
indie
do.
bookers, internet wrestling community, people who worked extra at Sunday Night Heat. How important do you think the correlation between social media and professional
Yeah.
wrestling is?
So I do want to make it clear is I'm not poking fun of anybody. So I'm poking fun at people who are rude, people who come off that they think they're better than everybody, or the promoters who are ripping people off or, being a little sleazy. So those are the people I like to poke fun at and the silliness. And it's all in good fun. And most people do understand it. But I do think social media is extremely important. I think that in this day and age, some people like to downplay social media because either they don't know how to do it or it's kind of a foreign concept to them. I do think that it is something that the big companies do look at. They want people who are social media savvy because you're going to remember, you can put up a video and it can get 2 million views, and that might be more people that watched that video than actually watched the show. So that you have, and you can easily put up content whenever. You don't have to wait for 8 p.m. on a Monday to be seen by people, or 8 p.m. on a Wednesday to be seen. Especially for indie guys and girls who don't have TV time. It's very important that you put out content so people can see you on a consistent basis. And I didn't really do that until about 2 years ago. And I didn't think about it. I thought just being my height and my size, that would have gotten me to the next level. And I became a little bit too complacent, and then realized that, there's a way to utilize social media that can really set me apart because I can show my personality a little bit more. I don't have to just wait for weekends when I have a match and then post a clip of a match that might get 40, 50 likes. Right. But now I'm posting videos. Now people are seeing that I have a personality. People are noticing me more. Seeing, again, it's all about attention. It's all about views. That's the currency. So I was able to utilize that, and it's really helped. I've got a lot of bookings from it. Some people get a little upset with some of the stuff I post, but you know what? At the end of the day, if you're not making people maybe a little bit nervous, with what you're doing, if you're not a little bit controversial, maybe you're not doing things right. Yeah. So look at like Logan Paul. It's a perfect example.
Yeah. You had a WWE tryout.
I did.
Uh, is it as grueling as people say it is?
It's pretty, yeah, it is very grueling. Yeah, it's very difficult. It's very cardio intensive. You got to be on your game the whole time. There's a bunch of different sessions. And they really try to weed people out because they expect you to do everything right. They expect you to finish every drill. And there's very little breaks. It's nonstop, and so yeah, it's definitely tough. Not easy.
Well, you were just recently in the 2K25 trailer,
Yeah,
putting the full Nelson on somebody. So that
it
was pretty
was.
cool.
That
Yeah.
was cool. That was. I've gotten two really great opportunities to do. I did the 2K24 commercial where I got to be Hulk Hogan's body double. It was my body, but they put his face on me. And then I got the 2K25 game as well, where I was the Undertaker, but I was also in the background of when Rhea Ripley hit Dominic with a trash can. So and when Liv was coming out, I went by on on a cart. But yeah, awesome experiences, really cool. Got to meet the Usos, Sammy. I knew Jacob Fatu from the Indies, and he remembered me, and it was actually very cool because he came up to me and said, man, I love your videos. I think they're so funny. So that's cool. That's cool to have to know that he's seen them, and Tama Tonga said the same thing to me, that he's seen the videos as well. Met Rhea, Dominic, very cool experience.
You, I would say this, are very tall, extremely tall.
Yeah, I'd say.
How how are you separating yourself from like other people of your stature who are like
Yeah,
placed in that spot that they are in?
of course. There's not a lot of us. One of the reasons I do say 6'12" is because I don't like to be considered just another 7 footer. I like to think of myself as different, and I am. I don't like to be the big grueling monster type, right? Like the big guy who just talks deep and he can't show any personality, needs to be mean all the time. That's not me. I never thought of myself as that. And some people told me maybe you should do that. And I've tried. It's just not me. I can do the heel stuff, but I do it in my own way. But what you see is what you kind of get. Ben Bishop is no different than what I call, like I said, my Clark Kent. So I am very authentic. It's just really me turned up to 11. So I like to have a good time. I think wrestling is at its core, wrestling is entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to be having fun, and everybody in attendance is supposed to be having fun. So that's my main goal. My main goal is to make sure that whoever is in the audience, whoever is watching the show and paid for a ticket, that they're having a good time. That's number one. It's not about what moves I can do or anything like that. I just want to make sure that those people in the audience are enjoying it and they come back for more.
Because I saw a clip of you on my For You page of you against Nemeth, and they were chanting 619, 619. And you can you do the 619?
No, no.
Um,
612. 612. Yeah, no, I do the yeah, I just hit him with a hip. Yeah. No, no 619. 619. The
you
rope's
were
too low. It'd be hard for me to get through it.
you were in a lot of battle royals.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Would you say you have a disdain for them?
Yeah, I don't love battle royals. It's not the most fun match for wrestlers, I'll say. A lot of people in the ring, a lot of opportunities you could potentially get hurt. Just a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'll do them. It's not a big fan.
Because it's like unchoreographed. Like in a usual match, you'd have like kind of like the play out. But in like matches with so many people, you have like your spots and you have like a bunch of other.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do too much. You can't do too much. A lot of people in the ring, so you don't want to be doing anything too crazy because you could hurt yourself. So, you got to just kind of, go in there and wing it and hope for the best and see what happens.
You were shout out by Matt Cardona,
I was.
right?
Yeah.
How like would you say how would that boost your career? Did that boost your career in any way?
I'd say definitely boosted confidence, and I'd say Matt Cardona is somebody that is definitely an inspiration. He's somebody that he was one of the first wrestlers to utilize social media in the way that he does, and talk about the importance of it when nobody was really using it, and now it's taken off, people making videos, utilizing Twitter, really using it to their best extent. And I've met Matt. I've become friendly with Matt over the years, and Matt's a guy who's not going to shout people out if he doesn't think that they are putting in the work. He's very adamant about that. So he's not just doing it um, because just to be a nice guy. Matt's a nice guy, but he's business first. And he's like, why would I? And he said this to me, a year or so back before I started getting more and more views. I asked if you want to do a video, and he goes, how does that benefit me? And I thought about that, and I'm like, you're right. How does it benefit you? It benefits me. So Matt, and I respect him for that. But now, Matt has continued to see what I'm doing and has said like, you're still doing it. You're putting stuff out there. You're not quitting, and he respects that. And he's seen the growth. And I think that, that has compelled him to want to shout me out and, we could say, give me my proverbial flowers, I guess.
Yeah. What is your dream collaboration? Like someone you like want to do a video with the most?
Yeah. So, you talked about Matt. I think doing a video with Joe Hendry would be
Oh
great.
yeah.
I've become friendly with Joe. I've only met him once, but we've talked back and forth on social media. He's been very encouraging, telling me that he really loves the videos. He's like, oh man, my friends wouldn't stop sending them to me, so I felt like I had to reach out to you. But Joe is also another inspiration of a guy who has utilized social media, and I'm saying that a lot. But he took advantage of a opportunity and he ran with it. He didn't just rest on his laurels. He has done amazing things, obviously working Randy Orton at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
not even being with WWE at the time, or still, so I would say he's one I would love to collab with. So maybe one day we'll see.
What is one thing that people usually wouldn't know about Big Trouble Ben Bishop?
One thing about me that people wouldn't know. I'm a pretty open book, so a lot of people know most about me. But um, let's see, man. I'm really good at trivia. So I have a
Oh,
really I yeah. So really like pop culture type trivia. I am a diehard fan of The Simpsons. So I'm a big fan of The Simpsons. That was my show growing up when I was a kid. I don't know why my parents let me watch it, but they did. So I watched a lot of it. Watched a lot of TV growing up, so that was always a big thing with me. I like all types of TV, but it's also given me good like it's also allowed me to see so many different, comedies or comedic timing, that type of stuff, and it's allowed me to kind of do these reels and understand, comedy in a way. So I would say that I people don't really know, but yeah, I am a huge fan of The Simpsons and really kind of a closet nerd. Like I really do like, I love like Marvel. I love that type of stuff. I love like theme parks, Universal, Disney. That type, I'm into that type of stuff. So yeah, but I'm really with me, like I said, I'm an open book. So there's not much people don't know.
have you been to Simpsons Land at Universal?
I have. I went a few months ago. I had a Duff beer. I heard they're closing it soon, so it's
Oh,
unfortunate. I think it's going to turn into Pokemon from what I've heard. So that's something I grew up with too. I remember when I grew up, it was only 150, and now it's, seems like there's thousands of them. But I think that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I'll definitely miss The Simpsons. Hopefully, they put something somewhere, or at least keep Moe's Tavern, because it's always cool to go in there. They did such a good job with it.
last question.
Yeah.
What's next for Big Trouble Ben Bishop?
I don't know. I don't know. I get this question a lot. But the way I answer it is, I take things day by day. I don't I make sure that, at the end of the day, wrestling can be tough on the mental, on the brain. It's a subjective business. It's not objective. It's not like a sport. So, it's not like, hey, this guy averages 20 points a game and 10 rebounds and 5 assists, and we have to give him a spot because he's so good. Wrestling, you can be amazing, be incredible, get great reactions, but you might never get that call. So what I've learned is I take things day by day. I don't really set any major. Obviously, I have goals of wanting to be eventually get to the next level. But I also want to understand that I want to make sure, what I want to say is I want to make sure that I'm living in the moment and I'm enjoying this day by day, because I never thought I'd do it. When I was your age and I was a wrestling fan, I always said like, man, that'd be so cool to do it, but I probably never will. And I kind of always doubt it. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I could ever do it, or I don't think I will. And 6 years ago, I decided to say, hey, you know what? Why not? Why not give it a shot? And it's been great. So I know it's not the fun answer, but my answer is just I take things day by day, and we'll see what happens. We'll just see. But I want to continue having fun, and if that day comes where it's just not fun anymore, that's when I know I'll have to make a decision. So
Before we go, is there
yeah.
anything you'd like to shout out or plug?
Yeah, so this weekend in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm not sure when this comes out, but this weekend in Nashville, Tennessee, June 21st, I'm wrestling Richard Holiday.
Oh,
He has been one of the mainstays in the independent scene for a few years now, and has been crushing it all over the country and even internationally. So I'm very much looking forward to working with him. We've never wrestled before, so that's going to be a heck of a match in Nashville. And then after that, making my Canadian debut at NCG at Noble Champions Group. So that should be fun. And then going back to Nashville to wrestle Dylan McQueen for On the Shore in New Jersey on July 15th. So a lot of things coming up, And, like I said, it's fun. It's fun because I always tell myself, like, like 8, 9-year-old Ben would think 35-year-old Ben's the coolest guy in the world. So I want to make sure I always I always remember that. And as I move forward in wrestling.
this has been great. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I really
They
appreciate
can
your
find
time.
you TikTok,
I'm doing the
Instagram.
running.
Wait,
Thank you so much for this. This was really
yeah.
awesome. Thank
You
you.
got it. Absolutely. Yes. At Big Trouble BB, you can find
Oh
me.
yeah, you gotta give me the social media.
Yeah, at Big Trouble BB everywhere on TikTok, Twitter, If you want, Twitter or X, Instagram, on YouTube, Facebook. I'm pretty much everywhere. So, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me on. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. It was our pleasure. Thank you.
You got it.
Up.
Y'all have a good one.
You
Too. And we're back.
I want to thank
Hello,
Ben
Max.
for
Spicy.
being with us this week, and I want to thank you guys for a great interview. This was excellent.
We did so good. Have fun.
Now
We.
yeah,
You had one question that I gave to you.
It was great.
It was the best question.
Now-
Mom gave it to me.
No, that was already
The
on mine.
I literally we're gonna talk about Summer Blockbuster because boy is there some stuff to talk about in those shows. But I have to mention this because I saw it on my phone all of about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Mercedes Monet
That's not-
has now gone public that she is in a relationship with a fellow pro wrestler.
Filthy Tom. Lawler.
We could be here for a while before
Wait,
you
let me
guessed who it was,
Chris Jericho.
but I'm going to give you a chance. No.
Can we get a hint?
Yeah.
I will give you a hint in that
Rusev.
it is somebody that is on AEW regularly.
Jack Perry.
No.
Bandito.
You're
Commander.
you're getting warmer.
Phoenix.
No.
Commander.
You're you're warm.
Truth.
No.
Imagine that.
She Mercedes and of Los Outrunners.
How
no.
hologram.
You're
Alex.
no.
Damn it.
No, it is
I
not
was
Alex
so
Abraham.
close, I thought.
You're there.
Luchadors.
You're there. Talk to the microphone.
Atlantis Jr.
No.
Atlantis Senior.
That would be very funny, but no. You're all around it.
a luchador.
Beast Mortos.
The Beast Mortos is correct. Mercedes Monet
She's dating a furry.
is now dating the Beast Mortos.
She's dating a furry.
Which you think to yourself, boy, that's unusual. But of course, we have no idea what that man looks like.
Oh, yeah.
You seen Bandito under the
He's
mask?
extremely short, though, I can tell.
Now,
What
Oh,
show
wait.
is she?
We haven't talked about this Goldberg.
do you want to talk about Goldberg?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, but
Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
yeah,
All right,
Goldberg,
I'm just gonna. All right, real fast, because you
Wait,
know,
who won the four-way?
Jay, I think.
real fast. You mean to tell me
Yup.
after
Hell yup.
after All In,
Yeah.
where we're
Well,
gonna
what?
see Okada versus Omega 5
Mm-hmm.
and Mercedes against Tony Storm
I'm more hyped for this.
and Hangman against Moxley, that after that show, which may very well be 5 hours long, people are going to watch now going to be excited about more wrestling in the form of Bill Goldberg. Really?
Versus Gunther.
Wait,
Again,
so now that tells you why Jay dropped the title and Rikishi going insane.
oh,
Yeah, so my family's been.
yeah, this is going to be a
I
long show.
watched such a funny video about that. My family's been running
Oh, the
wrestling
Rikishi
for
thing?
years and years. Roman Reigns has held the title for so long. The Rock came back for some reason and then got humiliated. But I'm gonna just let you. And my son has been pinned since he won the title. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm pissed.
Look, after Roman brought this to our attention last week, because I am not following
Oh, I knew
Rikishi
that.
on
I
social
knew 'cause
media.
One time he was gonna say he was
After-
gonna send it to AEW.
After Jay lost the title, and I saw that Rikishi posted a video about it, I'm like, I've got to watch
Oh
this.
god. Oh my god.
So here's what I'll say quickly. I mean, that is his son. He only wants what's best for his career. And I can understand him being upset that the title reign seemed to be cut very short.
Just to be put by Gunther
And now it appears that they did it just so they can have a title match between Gunther and Bill Goldberg in 2025.
That's a 5-star match
Now-
right there.
now,
Bill Goldberg?
With that
5
said,
stars. What you got against Goldberg, bro?
it's 2025.
It's Bill
He's
Goldberg.
older than me.
Sting was older
but
than
younger
you.
than John.
Right, and they used him very sparingly as a special
He's younger
attraction.
than you.
But older than you, but younger than John.
Chris Jericho's the same age as you, and
Roman,
you don't complain
help me
about
here.
him. Chris Jericho's almost wrestling regularly.
Is there some sort of groundswell that I'm not aware of people clamoring to see Bill Goldberg wrestle again?
I am.
Yes.
And I just don't know it.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
You're not excited to see Goldberg against Gunther?
No.
The 2 G's, the double G?
What?
His thing peaked in what, 1997 and 98?
Yeah, the 90 seconds or whatever it was.
I mean, that's like ancient history now. Now, can I get back to Rikishi for a second? I understand his position of
Papa.
not liking the title change,
Papa.
but when he extends his feelings to this being disrespectful of his whole family and what they've meant to the business,
They're trying to erase my family from wrestling.
no. I'm sorry, but after Roman Reigns held that belt for years and years and years,
Jay Uso hasn't been pinned so long.
it just seems to me that like his family, and they deserve it, has been shown the appropriate amount of respect. Like nobody's trying to, erase the memory of Peter Maivia or,
Alpha and
Alpha and
Sika.
Sika, or I mean, he just took it way too far.
Listen,
Um,
Rikishi's a very
so I get
proud
it now.
Papa.
I get it.
A little too proud sometimes, and
All
thinking
right.
that Jay should go to AEW, but...
Let's get into it because we got to talk about this summer blockbuster show.
Yay.
Because anybody that is still under the impression that I am a Tony Khan apologist, just wait. Because there was some great stuff in
What's
these 4
apologist
hours.
mean?
That means I like everything. But there were some problems. Okay. Summer blockbuster from Portland, Oregon.
Huzzah.
So the show opened. Here comes Hangman into the building with Chris Daniels, whose career he ended. I guess they're
No, I
friends
think I
again.
think they're buddy now.
Daniels is appearing to give him some kind of pep talk. As they walk into the arena, we see Jon Moxley hiding behind a pillar, and then the rest of the crew.
Faked as a security guard.
So we know a beatdown's coming later.
I think Moxie's trying to hide from the lawsuit.
The show opened with Swerve against Ospreay.
Disgusted me.
They did the 30-minute draw. It was awesome. Big surprise.
No, listen. When I saw the Swerve give that elbow, ooh, I like that. I was
Yeah,
like,
the match was fantastic.
Injury. Injury.
When he busted him open?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you love that.
I was like, yes.
So
Yes.
the fans were mad, but the match
wasn't. I
was great.
was
So Ospreay
overjoyed.
is laid out outside the ring. Swerve gets the mic. He said, they should go to sudden death.
What does that mean?
That means they should keep going till somebody wins.
That makes no sense.
Out
Well,
comes
sudden death then.
it's a sports term.
I know that, but like, can you go like? Is there like a form of power shootout where you just go
No.
blow for blow?
Not in wrestling.
Move for move.
So out come the Death Riders.
No.
Then the Young Bucks hit the ring, lay out Swerve with it. They lay out Swerve, give him the BTE trigger, super kick Nana,
It
poor
could,
Nana,
it could just turn into power
and
slap.
then they handcuffed Swerve to the ring ropes, and took turns super kicking him half to death. Then they get the shoes with the thumbtacks on them. Now the way they shot this was actually really great because the Swerve's handcuffed in the corner. The camera is behind him. So you see, Swerve's back, and then you see the Young Bucks like in front of him. So Nick Jackson goes for the super kick with the thumbtack shoe. Ospreay leaps in from outside the ring, and we didn't see any of that until he got right in front of Swerve and took the bullet for him. So there was heat. Let me try again. Heel beatdown number 1.
But I didn't like how Ospreay could have took the hit first.
Yeah, he did. He took the hit.
I hated that.
So I guess it
He
also.
was just dead. Claudio was sent to just hold him down. He was just laying there.
Yeah.
He didn't touch him.
So I guess it appears that at All In we're going to get the tag match.
I hated this.
Agreed? Now, we go to the back. Okada is with Lexi. He's immediately interrupted by Don Callis, who wants to know why Okada's in this match with Kenny and not Fletcher or Takeshita. Okada grabs his wrist. Archer and the crew show up. Okada calls him a B and leaves. Next, Here's another problem. Well, no, this is the first real problem. Mystico versus Blake Christian.
Love that.
Now, this week from Arena Mexico, we're going to get the match. It's Mystico
Tomorrow,
versus
actually.
right. Well, we tape on Tuesday. Mystico versus Friedman.
The greatest wrestler to ever live.
So this is a big match. Agreed?
Yeah.
Right, because Friedman doesn't wrestle that many singles matches, and
Why should he? He's getting paid a buttload of money.
And he's in a single match
Like,
in
why
Arena
should-
Mexico
why should
with
he
their biggest
wrestle?
star.
Why should he wrestle? He's in movies now. He doesn't need that.
So in what should have been a tune-up match, Mystico wrestles Blake Christian, who, to my knowledge, has not won a single match on AEW television.
Hey, who has won a single match on AEW?
And yet Blake Christian got, like, almost all the offense. Like, what was this? I don't understand.
It was pretty
It
bad,
happened
man.
twice.
Yeah,
think
it happened again later.
It's supposed to hype up the guy, thinking,
It
oh
makes
my
no-
God,
I
this
mean,
guy actually has a chance of beating, the newcomer,
100%.
or the person who's probably the biggest star in a country.
This should have been a short, easy win for Mystico, which it was not. I don't get it.
wasn't.
No, I can.
Out after the match. I mean, he
get it.
didn't.
It's supposed to hype him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have Mystico, you know who's gonna listen. If you have a match
Right,
against,
but,
let me
like-
ask old man, when you got a match against Sin Cara and Blake Christian, who you think's winning?
We all knew who was winning, but he should have won quickly and easily.
No, but why should he? No, but make him look make him work for it. Make him
No,
look better
wrong.
than a clean.
Roman, help me here. It makes no sense.
Dab me up for that one.
Afterwards, out come the Hurt Syndicate. MVP said it was impressive. That's a lie.
It was.
Then he goes into his Mr. America gimmick, and they drop the flag from the ceiling with his head instead of stars.
MJF did the Mr. America.
Right.
Listen, it's great because it makes sense because they're gonna be in Mexico. and
Then
he's all
right,
American.
then Mystico gets the mic. He insults Max's
Oh,
mother.
America.
Max, because he's so edgy, calls him sloppy Sin Cara.
I'm so edgy, guys.
That is-
Mystico punched him. The Hurt Business jumps in. Here's heel beatdown number 2.
Number 2.
This makes sense.
Max goes for the mask. Out comes Speedball Kevin Knight and Moscow Dorada, who unfortunately
Moscow Dorada.
had to step in for the now injured commander.
And he got Moscow Dada did not have a good day that day.
We go right into the 6-man, where Jet Speed basically got no offense on Bob or Benjamin.
God bless America.
Benji.
I mean, I know those guys are over,
And MJF.
but like this whole thing where nobody can get any offense on them is getting a little old.
I say it's never old.
Says the one that's okay with Moxley saying the same things for weeks and weeks.
Well, yeah. I didn't disagree that his promos were getting a
Tell
little
me
bit
why
repetitive.
wait.
You're defending
If
Moxley,
you can
so
tell
it's
me
okay
the-
for him to do the same
No,
thing
I was
for
on. No.
weeks
Wait.
and weeks
I was only
and
defending that
weeks.
the world champion needs to
Wait,
be on
Dad, let me give
television.
you a reason. Why do you
He
think?
does the same thing on
Go ahead.
television
Let me ask
every
you
week.
a query.
Go ahead.
Why do you think John Moxley turned on Bryan Danielson? And then if you give me a real reason, then we can have a discussion. Tell me the reason.
Why
that
are we
Bryan
ta-
Danielson turned
What does
on
that
him.
have to do with anything?
You're
That
saying
was
the
like
same thing happening all over and over again when you talk about complaining and he doesn't even got a real reason yet.
Right.
Let me fix you
No,
up there.
I'm just saying. Has anybody given
The Outrunners.
Benjamin and Bob
The
any sort of competitive match?
Outrunners.
The Outrunners, yeah.
I don't know.
Gonna be in Rahway, New Jersey.
We don't need to plug in these shows.
Yes, we do.
Hey, I
Outrunners.
need
So,
some income.
meanwhile-
Sponsor me, please. I love you, Outrunners.
Some things, it got
Please
kind of
sponsor
sloppy
me.
towards the end.
Well, who
MVP hit Speedball with his cane. Max hit a cradle to BDT for the pin. So Speedball loses again. I don't like that
God
either.
bless
And then guess what happens?
I like
Beat
Heel
down.
beatdown number 3.
3.
Well, I know it counts as the same person, so it should be.
MJF unmasked Mascot Dorada. So
can see his face, so
Mystico hits the ring,
What does he
hits
look
Max
like?
with a Mystica.
We already know what Bandito looks like. He's
Lashley and Benjamin hit the ring, so he bails. So at
Ma-
least Mystico got to, look good for a few seconds against Max.
We already know what Bandito looks like. He looks not what I would expect him to look like.
That's what we saw him outside the arena.
Yeah. And we weren't knowing who he was unless the other kid that was next to us shouted him out. Thank you.
Next, Hangman was supposed to go out and come out for a promo, but guess what happened instead?
He got held hostage.
Heel beatdown number 4.
4.
The Death Riders had bound and gagged him and were beating him up down to the ring. Moxley cuts a promo on him, said he's got 4 weeks to get himself together, and if he can, he should pack his stuff and leave. Hangman did leap up, headbutted Moxley. The Death Riders grabbed him. They were about to put the chair around his neck for the Claudio stomp. The Ops ran down to make the save.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hangman then at least cut his promo saying he's come too far and he's too close to be to the championship. He'll ride through death to get it, and if he found any of them that night, he'd take their heads off, which he didn't, and storms off into the crowd. We got Ty Mello and Anna Jay against Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. There really wasn't much to this. Ty pinned Penelope while Anna had Bayne in a sleeper outside the ring to keep her from breaking it up.
We've seen Ty Mello in 2 weeks. We've seen Ty Mello more time in 2 weeks than we've seen Sami Zayn in months.
No, he had that tag match with Jay.
That one match.
Yeah, I mean...
Exactly.
Well,
one match.
Well, he cut that promo with Jay the night after WrestleMania, which made you think he was going to get a title shot, and clearly that's not happening.
Exactly.
Right.
Continue.
Now,
He needs to be pushed to the
now
moon.
let's get to something better.
He's incredible.
They did the video package to give you the history of Kenny and Okada, which was excellent. They went through all 4 matches. It was really good.
But there's no debate on who's the better wrestler.
They needed to do that. Then they go to the ring with Shivani for the contract signing.
No, wait. I have a question.
Yes?
There's no difference on who's better. If Kenny won 2 and Okada won 1, and this is out of
With one
4
draw.
matches, with
Dad,
one
can I get
draw,
the water? I
there's
wanna
no
water my
debate
hands.
on who the better wrestler is.
Thank you.
Well, right now, they are 2-1-1. You're correct.
So why are they doing this again? For
Well,
nostalgia?
two-
And also, these two are not what they used to be.
2 reasons. A,
One of them is
people want
diverticulitis, the other one had
people
gray
want to
hair.
people want to see it, and B, they're going to unify the belts.
Yes, but like,
Why?
these two are also not what they
Wait,
used to be.
is the women's title being unified?
They have not said that.
Okay, don't. Why would you make it unified? They have 2 women's titles, and if they're both unified, then you're not gonna have as much attention on the women's
Okada,
side.
okay.
Unless you
Okada's
bring
not
in,
the 60.
unless you bring in a tag title.
Wait,
Okada's not the 60-minute man anymore, usually. And Kenny's not the cleaner, or could be that. After
can I
diverticulitis, they're both kind of.
can I just
Sorry to say this. Old.
can I remind you of something before we talk about like Kenny Omega being washed up?
Yeah. I'm not saying
We're-
he's washed up. I'm saying he's
we're-
not
we're about-
blonde-haired cleaner
We're about
in Japan.
we're not even halfway through the year. So far, Kenny Omega has been in the best match I've seen this year,
Which one?
which was him and Gabe Kidd,
That was great.
and the triple
How
threat
long?
match.
How long was
The
that?
the triple threat match that we saw in person with him, Speedball, and Ricochet was
With you.
also incredible. So let's not
How
talk.
about Anarchy in the Arena?
And he's
That
part
was
of
amazing.
Anarchy in the Arena, which was, I mean, he
Well,
was.
that's not technical, pure wrestling
Listen.
skill.
It was so great.
They're
Captain
gonna-
America shield.
They're going to go out and they're going to have a tremendous match. Do you really doubt that?
Guys, we may actually
How,
get to see.
how about how great the Okada match was with Speedball?
Out.
Like Okada can't go anymore. Come
I
on.
am saying that. Do you think Kenny Omega right now can do a 69-minute match?
He good?
Today,
Yes. Do you think Okada can do a 69-minute match?
I think Okada could. Yeah.
Or do you think Kenny Omega can do a 69-minute match after all those
Here's the thing.
injuries, diverticulitis?
I don't know that anybody's asking him to. I don't know that that's ever going to be topped.
Yes, but I'm saying they can't. He
But
hit his prime,
The fact,
and now it's the slow
the fact
descent
that they're
down.
not going to go out there and do a 2 out of 3 fall match. Look, I don't think they're in a main event that
I'm
night.
saying-
They don't need to do that.
I'm saying they-
let them go out there and do a really good
my
25 to
point
30.
is that they are not what they used to be.
Well,
I'm not saying Kenny can do. Kenny can't do a 69-minute 2 out of 3 falls match, and Okada.
No one needs him to do that.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that they
look,
are not
let's
what they
bottom line
used to
this.
be.
Hold on.
Exactly. He
What the
can't.
hell is that?
Let's bottom line this. I cannot believe I even have to ask this question.
Oh my God! It looks so.
Are you suggesting that the two of them can't go out there and put on a 5-star match? Is that really what you're saying?
I'm saying that they maybe like a 4.3,
No.
or like a 4.5,
Well,
but not
You're
5.
I feel very comfortable saying that they both still have that in them. So we'll see
see.
on July 12th.
I will bet you
now,
money.
let's talk about what
Money.
happened.
I'll
I
give
would
you
agree.
1 cent.
Deal. That they have a
So
good match.
Shivani's in the ring. He shows everybody the new belt for the unified title, which was quite nice.
I don't like the name.
It was
though.
so nice.
I don't like the name though.
Okada signs.
Why?
I don't like the name the unified title.
Kenny
Sounds
gets to the
right.
microphone, says, "Let's leave it all in the ring for one last time for everything." Kenny signs. They shake hands and they go face to face. Then here comes Don Callis again. Again starts yelling about how Takeshita or Fletcher should be in the match. Kenny cuts him off. Said, the match is made. It's him against
Josh
Okada,
Alexander.
and there's no trick in your book that you can pull to ruin it. Don asked him, you think you know all my tricks? Well, you didn't know this one. Okada jumps Omega from behind.
Number 5.
You're right. Here comes heel beat down number 5.
5.
Don gets in the ring. He goes into his jacket. He pulls out a blackjack,
I want one of those for Christmas.
No, but they described it as a metal baton.
a police baton.
I do want one. See,
They
like,
beat down,
You can just
like,
put it-
you can
beats
be like,
down Kenny,
hit him in the
hits him in the gut. They
kneecap.
bring in the stretcher.
Hit him in the kneecap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okada then goes up to the top rope and hits an elbow drop onto Kenny on the stretcher.
oh
God.
my God. Yo, can I have that for a second?
Kind of like that.
No,
It is-
that is it.
It's basically it.
I borrow
I
that
didn't
for a
expect to see that on the show today.
Can I try that? Can I try that, brother? Help the brother
It
out.
was that, but like bigger.
Chris Daniels hits the
Oh
ring.
God.
Starts screaming at Okada and Don.
Can I try that out for a second?
Okada drops Daniels. Then they have Kenny on the stretcher outside the ring. Okada hits an elbow off the apron onto Omega on the stretcher again. Kenny then does this totally disgusting, like vomiting up of blood.
That was fake. There's too much. That was
Oh my
fake
God!
blood.
It
was too
Okada and
bright.
Don run backstage. Alex Marvez tries to interview them. Don screams, "Quote: They're going to kill us. We have to get out of here."
And who is they?
They jump into a car and drive off way too fast for anything resembling safety.
Wait, no, Johnny Hungy could catch up to him.
Yeah. Fast Man
Well,
Alive.
it's the Fast Man Live.
I would love to see a race between him and Speed. Him and Ashton Hall.
This was a great angle. I know.
Who would ask it all?
What?
Wait, what?
He's the exact opposite of Ashton Hall.
This was a great. I know it involved another heel beatdown.
You know
This
about
wa-
Ashton Hall, old man?
This was a great angle.
John,
He kind of reminds
you know
me
about
of
So-
Ashton Hall?
He kind of reminds me of Ashton Hall.
So ends the Dynamite portion of the evening. So now we go to Collision.
What's your mooning routine?
Here's something else I didn't like. Kyle Fletcher against Anthony Bowens.
Oh my God.
So now, unfortunately, Bowens has fallen into the
no.
same trap where he has good matches on TV every week and loses.
Hell no, man.
It's one thing if he goes out there with Okada and has a really good TV match and loses, it's Okada. But now, nothing against Kyle Fletcher. He's great, but, now he's losing to Kyle Fletcher. Not good. I mean, Archer got involved with Billy, and Archer sent Billy into the barricade, and Bones got distracted, and he ended up getting booted and brainbustered. Not good. Then, AEW Smash announcer Carlos Cabrera's in the ring. He brings out Atlantis Senior and Junior. Before they could say anything, here comes FTR and Stokely.
Oh, this promo. Oh my God, it was so good.
Stokely cut some kind of promo
Did you know
talking
about
about
this
Nigel
promo?
taking pills. I didn't really get one.
And then he suggested he was gonna go on to OnlyFans.
Yeah, and then said something about Daniel Garcia and OnlyFans.
No, it was Nigel OnlyFans.
No,
I
it was
thought.
Daniel.
It was Garcia.
Oh, well, that was the best promo ever.
I mean, Stokely was on fire.
No, Stokely's talking about how he's gonna cook him like a fajita at Chili's.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Stokely was on fire.
Wait.
I said a little good at Chili's. Is
Then,
it Applebee's? Which one does the fajitas?
I'm
Then
guessing Chili's.
Is it it's
Chili's.
Chili's? It's Chili's.
FT,
I'm a big fan of
then
Chili's.
then
I heard you got good mozzarella sticks.
Dax cuts his
Yeah, I heard
promo.
about the Chili's mozzarella
fight-
sticks.
The Atlantises have had it, decide they've had enough. The fight breaks out. Then the Don Callis family hits the ring for guess what?
Five.
He'll
I mean,
beat down
six.
number 6.
6. Yay.
At least this time,
Hey, you-
Adam Cole, Bandito, Templario, and Brody King all ran out to make the save.
That's an interesting people.
We got Tony Storm against Julia Hart, where again Mercedes is ringside with a steak dinner.
No, this is a much fancier steak
Yeah,
dinner.
it was.
It got
At least-
rolls.
At least I
broccoli,
rolled. She had Brussels
asparagus.
sprouts, mashed potatoes. This was a full meal.
Mm.
Julia missed some moonsault.
Is it
Tony
real
pinned her with a
food?
small package.
And it's so. Can
Here
I
we
have a
go,
little bit?
everybody. Mercedes gets in the ring afterwards, helps Tony up, and then throws her down and gives her a beating.
No. First she sniffs her.
Oh yeah, and gave her that weirdness.
Weird sniffs and a kiss.
Mina comes down to
Wait,
make.
isn't that number 8?
Mina
Having
comes down.
7?
Mina comes down to make the save. Mercedes fled. Then, while Mina's back is turned, Mercedes comes back and beats down Mina, and then beat down Tony some more. He'll beat down number 7.
7.
Oh my God,
Mercedes
this show.
likes Mina.
Then
Yeah, push it.
we got mixed 6-person tag,
What the hell?
Mark Briscoe,
Here, take your feet up.
Ishii, and Willow Nightingale against Taya Valkyrie and the male models.
Jesus Christ. Where have these
So you
fellas
got
been?
Tomohiro Ishii, who
I'm a
is
big
like the
fan of
opposite
MXM.
of comedy wrestling,
I'm a big fan of
in
MXM.
there with MXM.
I'm a big fan
This
of
was
MXM.
bizarre.
No, I'm a big fan of MXM.
The highlight of this is at one point, Ishii and Willow Nightingale gave one of the models a double suplex.
Good for Willow.
Mark hit-
I'm a big fan of the MXM. They're good at what they do.
which is what?
Their AEW was so interesting.
Yeah, it was. I'll give him that.
That was
Mark, it's the Froggy Bow, and then Willow pins Ty with the Doctor Bomb.
Yes.
Then Chris Statlander's in the back. She cuts some kind of promo saying she's the best woman on the roster, and why isn't she good enough for anybody? Up comes Wheeler Yuta, harkening back to their days as part of the Best Friends.
The best faction.
Gave her some kind of weird pep talk and told her to make her own choices. So I don't know where they're going with that one.
Now that I'm getting a close up of Wheeler Yuta, he really does look disgusting.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah,
so
I think that's the point.
Like the beard, the hair.
Oh yeah, he looks
the
totally
greasy
unkempt.
hair.
It looks
he
so
looks
greasy.
Like, he looks like he's like on the streets of
It looks
Kensington.
greasy and crusty. That's not a good
Hey, he's
combination.
from Philly, so he probably is on the streets of Kensington.
Wait,
Johnny Brenda's.
wait. What
He
about
goes to
Johnny
Johnny-
Brenda's?
Him, Orange, and I can't remember who the third one was. Be at Johnny Brenda's sometime.
Chuck Taylor? Was it Chuck Taylor?
Oh, they
China?
they hang out there.
Sometimes.
Because
Oh.
Orange lives in
Woody
Philly.
used to, Woody was working security.
Oh, right.
Orange works in Philly, or lives in Philly, right?
No, he lives in New Jersey.
No, he's
Um,
from New Jersey.
You know what they were there? Apparently, they were there to see a concert of the saxophone player from the Lost Boys.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
You're the
Yeah.
lead singer of Smash.
They had his show at Johnny Brenda's, and they were there to see it.
Really? Huh.
The only people in
That
the
guy's still around.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, you never seen that movie. That's a good '80s movie.
What movie?
The Lost Boys. It's about vampires.
Oh,
I thought that's the one with
The Twilight?
I thought that was the one about Robin Williams playing Peter Pan.
No, that's Hook.
You're thinking of the Lost. It's a, I can't.
Okay.
That was a
Now
nice
let's talk
conversation.
about,
Am I thinking
now
the
they
same
actually,
thing?
after all these heel beatdowns and other things that didn't make sense, we got Mortos against Bandito. This match was awesome.
Ooh,
Second best match
a
of the night.
standby match.
I don't know why they called it a standby match. This show was 4 hours long.
It was great.
No.
What on earth did they need a standby match for? That made no sense.
Why are
saw
they
the
standing
Outrunners,
by?
But it
we
was-
saw the Outrunners come out, so thank God for that.
But
one.
the match,
Los Outrunners.
the match was awesome. Bandito pinned Mortos with the SOS Slam. Then Mercedes is in the back with her friend Renee. She issues a challenge for Arena Mexico. Zuxis accepts. That match gets made, so they're going to wrestle at Arena Mexico this week. Then the Young Bucks are backstage with Hangman, asking that, telling them that, saying you're welcome for all they've done for him, and that all he has to do now is stick the landing, win the title, and bring it to the Elite. Hangman tells them to stay out of his business and Ospreay's business and Swerve's business. Now they did this outside the locker room, and then the door opens, and we see Nana heard all this.
No, did you see when Nana's head was poking out while they were talking?
Yeah, Nana's pet, but yeah, he kind of eavesdropped. Then he went to Swerve, and he said, "Boss, did you hear all that?" And Swerve said he did. So more foreshadowing of some sort of
Of the
reconciliation.
Hold on. So they think he's gonna join the Elite. He doesn't want to.
He does not.
Okay,
No, I
good.
think it's gonna be like an Avengers theme. You know what I'm saying?
Can he
what,
be Captain
all in?
America?
No,
Who
it's
would be
gonna be
Iron
like,
Man?
No, it's gonna be like Ospreay, Hangman,
Yeah.
Swerve, Bryan Danielson, Eddie
Darby.
Kingston.
Yep,
Darby
both
Allin.
of those things are entirely possible.
Also,
They're-
when
we know they're
are
going to
we
pull.
getting Eddie? We saw
Big
him
Boom
training.
AJ.
We know they're going to pull.
Ooh.
We know they're going to
He's
pull.
gonna be at All In. He said he's gonna be on All In. MJF against Big Boom AJ at All In,
We know they're.
Boo!
We know they're.
Boo!
so he can destroy
Boo!
another one of people's favorite wrestlers.
Boom! You know? Dad, you got that 5 big booms?
This is disgusting me.
I need
Now.
5 big booms, not one small
I'm-
boom.
I'm
5.
not giving you. I'm not giving you all
He's like
5.
32, but you're like 50.
Ruben,
I'm
let
54.
me hear your 5 big booms.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
God.
All right, now
Jesus Christ.
I gotta talk about this.
You're like basically old man
Oh my.
John.
You just said I was older.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, basically,
Wait.
this look like the old man John. Like, I see
Wait,
no difference.
we're all, wait. Let's just finish this up. It's been a long show.
Gary, Sam.
Coming out of his mouth.
Next, oh my God, this Queen Aminata
Oh my God.
versus Tekla. Now,
This was interesting, man. This
oh,
was
was it ever?
so interesting.
This was.
Tekla, this is her second.
Tekla. With a
I
TH.
guess the H is silent. That they kept calling her Tekla. This is her second match on AEW television.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
And for the most part, unless you're watching Stardom,
You don't know who the hell this
you've
woman
never
is.
seen her before.
Yeah.
So this is a new talent to your audience that you figure,
Make her look good.
right?
Give her the bold bells and whistles.
Aminata goes out there and proceeds to beat the crap out of that woman for almost the entire match.
She hit like the Stephanie Vaquer move.
I mean, this was unbelievable.
Roman, you know what I'm talking about.
At one point,
Yeah. Oh man knows too.
Aminata sat down on that woman and gave her like a shoot hook leg, so much so that Turner counted. Tekla could not kick out, and he had to stop counting. Like this, what's going on here?
I think Aminata went rogue.
And I have to say something, because I have.
Maybe Tekla's just bad.
I mean, Tekla did eventually get the win, but
Barely.
like, I have been very critical multiple times of Nia Jax. Deservedly so, I might add, because she is bad at what she does,
Yeah.
and
in
at
the
times
hospital.
dangerous. I'm willing to give Aminata a little bit more leeway because I think she's still pretty green. But like, how she has not hurt somebody, I don't know. Like, there was that one, I think she gave her like a double stomp off the top. Like, it looked like she killed her. Like, I don't understand what is going on here. This made no sense. And like, if I'm one of those women back there, I am in no hurry to get in the ring with Queen Aminata. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't get it. Like, it's you're trying to get Tekla over, and she goes out there and basically gets her ass kicked for almost the entire match.
I like Tekla more.
Fine, go with it. And then finally, for the second week in a row, the Don Callis family and the Paragon got put in the death spot. Alexander ended up pinning Roddy with a German suplex. I mean, by the end of the 4 hours, I think everybody was exhausted. Like,
Pretty good.
I mean, look, the opening match was great. The angle with Kenny and Okada was great,
Swerve the promo.
and the
Elite, that was great.
Bandito Mortos match is great. But like, there is no reason. Like, where is somebody in the back to like? I mean, 7 heel beatdowns in over the course of these two shows. Like too many. Way too many.
Yeah.
And the thing with Mystico and Blake Christian, and the thing with Tekla and Aminata, like, it just, I don't understand. Like, I think
It was bad.
it was not
It's
good.
Not good. Bad.
So there were some real issues this week. Now that said, Arena Mexico is this week, and that should be great.
Who's ready for Arena Mexico?
We're gonna get Max against Mexico.
I'm fighting Mystico. No one told me.
We're gonna get. We're basically gonna get almost like a rematch of Anarchy in the Arena, but with some semblance of rules.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna get
Which is the
Death
bummer.
Riders and Young Bucks against Ops, Swerve, and Osprey. That should be fantastic. And then I think there's another, like, we're gonna get Mercedes and Zooxies,
A 6-man. A
and
12-man.
and then we're gonna get the 12-man
I want a 20-man.
with like FTR and the Don Callis family against too. It was like Paragon, Garcia, and like I forget who else.
Brody King.
Oh, Brody King, yeah. So it should be a great show, but like, there was some problems this week. Anything else before we wrap it up? Okay,
Yeah.
we are going to be on hiatus next week because producer Roman will be on vacation. So thank you, producer Roman. Thank you, Joy, for joining us, John, as always. Thank you again so much to Big Ben Bishop.
Big Trouble, Ben Bishop.
Big Trouble, Ben Bishop. For giving us some of his time. And we will see you all in 2 weeks with another episode of Grappling with the Gilmans. That's a wrap.